Hey there, California 27. It's Mike out here in Washington, D.C., heading home for the month of August to be in the district meeting with constituents, businesses, and we'll have a town hall towards the end of the month. More details to follow on that. I know the heat is killing all of us right now. It's this way on the East Coast as well as on the West Coast, and we've been hit especially hard in the last week by a few fires throughout the district. So I want to start by saying thanks to our firefighters at the local level, the county, the state firefighters, as well as the federal firefighters on our Angeles National Forest area, working so hard to keep us safe. Looks like they've done a successful job once again, keeping us all of it out of harm's way. And as you know, these fires continue to be a problem. They've been a problem since I was a kid. In 1983, I remember having to evacuate. And as we grow the suburbs into the wildlands, we're going to see more of these events threatening more lives, more homes and structures. And so we've got to get better at not just fighting the fires and taking care of our firefighters. They deserve more pay, and we need to do everything we can for that, but also predicting the fires and forecasting the weather throughout the year so that we can understand which fire seasons are going to start either sooner or later, and the severity of them as they develop a little bit better. We also need to integrate things like unmanned aerial systems or drones from small to big to help provide more information around the clock about where the hot spots are. And so to that end, this week I introduced the Fire Weather Development Act, and actually it got passed through the Science, Space, and Technology Committee by unanimous vote from both sides of the aisle. A very rare opportunity for bipartisan legislation to pass. Hopefully we'll get it to the floor here in the next couple of months. But what this bill does is it forces NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, to invest in new technologies for forecasting, to invest in a test bed to test these new technologies out for the forecasting as well as the live firing decisions on the ground, but to also start to integrate these unmanned aerial systems as a force multiplier for our firefighters. So that's a big deal. Passed the committee unanimously this week. We also last week passed the National Defense Authorization Act, which you've heard me talk about several times. This historic pay raise that we got for our junior enlisted troops, a 36% increase in base pay for our E1s. That's the first rank, going from $22,000 a year to $31,200 a year. That gets them above the poverty line, gets them above the equivalent of $15 per hour, which is huge. Still not enough compared to what they do and the sacrifices they make for our country, but it's a massive, biggest raise in history for our junior enlisted. So I'm proud to have led that effort. We got it signed into the NDAA and passed through the House last week. The Senate's working on it now, and hopefully we'll get that done before the end of the year as well. So wanted to update you on a few things. I co-sponsored this week the Medicare Multi-Cancer Screening Coverage Act, and what this does is allows folks on Medicare to have the multi-cancer screening tests covered by Medicare. This is a big deal for folks out there. Instead of doing a la carte screens, this is a multi-cancer detection that is paid for by Medicare under this bill. I also co-sponsored a resolution, signed on to a resolution that condemns the human rights violations in Iran. Obviously, a lot of good freedom fighters trying to do the right thing and gain their freedoms that we take for granted sometimes in this country, but they're under an oppressive government, under the Iranian government, and so we're condemning them through this resolution that should get bipartisan support. Hopefully everyone signs on to that as well. Also just want to make a plug for passports. We've gotten literally dozens of calls about passports. The Department of State and the folks who process our passports are really behind. Frankly, they're not working as long or with as many people to figure out this backlog, but please look at your passports. If you think you might be traveling at any point in the next couple of years, look at the expiration date on the passports, go find them. We're happy to help you out and expedite them, but we've gotten a lot of calls from folks who are leaving in a week or two, and then they realize that their passports are expired. So I know with COVID, everyone was home, not traveling. People are trying to now go on international travel. Please get ahead of the passport issue. We'll help you if you get in a bind, but do us a favor and look at it and see if we can take care of it now rather than when it's an emergency. Also want to highlight a victory in Santa Cruz Valley. They installed cameras on the William S. Hart baseball field so that we can watch our kids play baseball remotely. Well, it turned out Verizon had some cell towers out there that were interfering with the Wi-Fi and the communications there, so we were able to get the William S. Hart Park baseball folks together with the Verizon executives, and they worked it out, and they deconflicted the spectrum, so those cameras should be hopefully up and running again, and we can watch our kids play baseball remote. So with that, guys, I hope you have a great weekend, a nice, hopefully cooler August than what we've been having. Looking forward to being in the district, being home with the family, and meeting with the constituents and businesses. God bless, guys. Take care.